All right, good morning to all of you. James, Nisansala, Sanduni.
Morning, sir.
So today we have to do unit 23, right? Let's get on the page. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So let me get my pointers. Now it is in the module 2, part 2. All right, selection and use of resources. So these coming 3-4 units, we will be dealing all with the material, teaching aids, supplementary material, okay, how to select the books, how to select the material, how to select the activities, and what type of task according to the learner's need and their age. Okay, so that the remaining 4 units, 23rd, 24, 25, 26, it will be dealing with that. Before that, what it was dealing with the lesson planning, aims of the lesson, different stages in it. So you have to segregate these two. Part 1 of the module 2, you prepare and read all these together, not separately, because they are interconnected. The information which they give you in one unit, it is related to the next one. So all keeping in mind, overall, you have to keep an idea of all the units from 19 up to 22. After 22, 23rd to 26, it's dealing with the material. It's a separate topic. Right. Consulting reference resources to help in lesson preparation. How do we consult reference resources? Reference resources are all the sources of information about language and about teaching that we can refer to for help in lesson preparation. Now, what is reference resources? Whatever the information we get, whichever way, and we refer to that in order to update ourselves about the topic which we are going to teach in the class or preparing our lessons. That is the reference resources. They include reference materials such as dictionaries, grammar books, books and articles in teachers' magazines about language, supplementary materials in a course book, such as phonemic charts or list of irregular verbs, and websites on the internet. Now, if you see the reference material, it includes what? Your dictionary is also referred because you are looking for the words in it and explanation in it. And nowadays dictionaries are like kind of giving more explanation, use of the words is there, examples, all these social life one, the teaching side one, all this they have clearly explained in the dictionaries. Then grammar books are there, books and articles in teachers magazines. So sometimes some of you might be interested to read the internationally recognized teacher magazines. So there they discuss different kind of problem regarding the teaching and different methods regarding the teaching, update them with the latest kind of approaches to the teaching methodology. So online you can get the subscription of it and freely available to update yourself. Moreover is supplementary material. Supplementary material in a course book such as phonemic charts, list of irregular verbs. Supplementary material, one is the main course book. Along with that, they give you some other material which is utilized along with the course book, that is called supplementary material. It has various forms. In the coming units, we will discuss about it. Particularly, there is one unit about supplementary material. So we will talk in detail about it in the next unit. Reference resources may also include people. People also because your seniors are there and those who have the experience in teaching that particular subject which you are teaching. So you contact them also, and you ask about different things and their way of teaching the same topic. For example, the head of department or colleagues to teach foreign language and other subjects. We consult reference resources by knowing where we can find the information and we need how to find it. There is a lot of information available to teachers and it's important. Therefore, to develop the ability to compare reference resources and decide on their quality and usefulness. So, availability of the reference material is a lot. And if you search the website, you will find a lot of material on a single topic. Out of that, it's up to you to decide which material is needed for your teaching style, for your students' needs. So it's not that the whole thing you can use it. Selection out of it you have to do, and that's what one of the drawbacks in the supplementary material, because they are not graded. You will find it like kind of totally scattered around. So you have to pick which one is suitable for you. That selection of suitability and the appropriacy for your teaching style and the class, that depends on you, which one you select. And there are various things in it we will discuss in the coming units, that what are the grounds on which we select the supplementary material. Right. Is it clear so far? Any doubt regarding these? Right, so
No,
then
sir.
we will go to the next one. Checking the form and use of grammatical structure. Okay, now reference resources. First we will see grammatical structure, what we do. Some grammar books are written for teachers and have very detailed explanation. Other designed for learners at different levels use simpler language to give essential information about grammatical structure. So there are grammar books, advanced grammars, basic grammar, intermediate grammar. Some are particularly for the teachers, because in the teacher's grammar book, explanation is given fully, information about one particular point in the grammar, whatever they are looking for. So those are not suitable for the students. The students one are separate. Then in the students also categories are there: basic, intermediate, and advanced. Okay, so what's the level? According to that, they can select it. Grammar books for learners can help us to see that information, what information our learners need about grammatical structure, and can provide us with suitable ways of describing and explaining grammar. The easiest books to use are those organized in alphabetical order, or which have detailed index and table of contents. Some grammar books also include practice exercises which teachers and learners often find useful. As I told you, in the grammar books nowadays, you find complete information about a particular word, whatever the word they are you look for. So it's a noun, it's adjective, it's a verb, whatever it is. So those things all are very much detailed mentioned there. Some more recent grammar books are based on huge electronic collection of example of spoken and written language in use corpora. These books now tell us how people really use the language, right? So there are grammar books with that you will find a CD-ROM. Where you have the more information where you can listen to the different pronunciations or different other kind of exercise available in that. Right. Checking the spelling, pronunciation, and use of lexical item. Advanced learners' dictionaries are very useful for teachers to use themselves, as they include example sentences, as well as information about the form and use of words. Most of these are also available on CD-ROM and online publishers' websites. All right, so now when it comes to the dictionaries, mostly now everyone has a smartphone, and it's easily available. The digital dictionaries, you can download the app and check that pronunciation. You can check, okay. And moreover, like if you you buy a book, what is it, paper one dictionary, along with that is also they gave a CD-ROM where the useful terms and explanations and exercises are given in the different areas of the grammar. Bilingual dictionaries, where the word and its meaning are in different languages. Bilanguages, we are two, like English to Sinhala, right? Including electronic dictionaries are useful when learners are looking for a word that they don't know in English. But these dictionaries usually give very little information about how to use a word. So it's a good idea for learners to check the words they find in a monolingual dictionaries. Monolingual, which is like English to English, all right? So it's better to use both. Sometime one word, it doesn't give you correct understanding when it is explained in English to English. But if you check that in your mother language, translated one in the bilingual dictionary, so you can get the thing easily understood. But that should not be the way of understanding everything in the bilingual. Why? Because ultimately the goal is to become more familiar with the English language. But sometimes some of the terms you find to understand it's very easy once it is translated in your mother language. Rather than, so it's not all, mostly it is explained very easily, but some of the terms like particular kind of will be problematic. So you can use bilingual dictionary for that. And children, they need to, because they cannot follow English to English, so they need to use it, those whose second language is English and they are learning. So bilingual they have to use initially. Right. Learners' dictionaries like learners' grammar books can help teachers to find the most suitable ways of defining words and giving example of their use. All languages change over time because English is so widely spoken in so many parts of the world. It changes faster, more frequently than many other languages. So new edition of dictionaries are published every few years. The most recent edition of the monolingual learner dictionary include many new features such as information about collocation, synonym, antonym, and related words, indication of frequency, notes, warning, learners about common errors, and extra example on a CD or DVD-ROM or on a website. And so nowadays, what they say, the change in the language, it's happening very fast. Why? Because change in the society is happening fast. You know, every second or third year, the things are totally changed. So new things are introduced. Likewise, this change in the society, in the technology, it affects the language. Language is ultimately the communication mean where we people interact with each other. So when the change comes to society in terms of the technology and it affects our social life, so it affects the language as well. That is why they suggest here to go for the latest edition of the dictionaries. Why in those dictionaries you will find the terms and the use of it in the recent way, rather than consulting the old dictionaries. Right. So there is also a wide range of specific dictionaries for collocations of idioms and phrasal verbs, pronouncing dictionaries, dictionaries of culture and dictionaries of common errors, dictionaries of synonym, pictures dictionaries for young learners, and dictionaries of different curriculum subject for secondary and university students. So you need to have the knowledge of it, of the dictionary. Sometimes they ask a question about it on the test, okay? What type of dictionary is useful for what? So you just make a list of it. Some of that you already know. some of the terms which is not clear, check that in the glossary and find that what type of dictionaries are available. Right, next one is developing your own understanding of language. That's the most important thing. Most of the time we people are just repeating what we learn. No, you need to have your own approach, your own learning style, and that's what I'm always emphasizing on. And one is I'm explaining to you, one is in the book, third you do the worksheets, fourth you have the glossary, fifth you have the website. But out of all these things, what's your own understanding? That matters. If you repeatedly say something which is in a book or something, that's not the ability. That's you memorize thing, repeat it, and that's what our students are doing mostly. So try to build up in the student not what you have taught exactly that same, but try to see whether they can use it in other ways or not. If they cannot use it, it means they have not understood it. So that understanding in the student also have to build up, plus understanding of your own. All right. Reference materials about learner errors. No, where was developing your own understanding. There are many number of books for teachers which aim to increase our language awareness and our awareness of how to teach language. They often include tasks that we can do by ourselves or with a colleague, and detailed explanation and comments as well as answer keys. Right. Anticipating learners' difficulties. This is what we have discussed in the lesson planning also. What difficulties learners may face while learning about the language. Reference materials about learners' errors can help us anticipate particular language problems that our learners might have. Many difficulties with vocabulary or grammar are the result of interference from L1. We have discussed that in Module 1, L1 interference, mother language interference, how it affects our second language. Books or articles about specific differences between the learners L1 and English can help to explain these problems. So there are different kind of books which is available that how your L1 is interfering with your L2. And that particular areas, like if you see in Sri Lanka also, so there are particular things which we exactly translate in English language. Okay, so those kind of books and articles and some kind of website are there who are pointing out those particular things in the learner's language, which usually every learner in particular countries they face in particular culture. Right. The next one is looking for new approaches to teaching lesson and new classroom activities. If we are looking for new approaches or activities, or if we want to give our learners something different from their course book, there is a wide range of supplementary material. Now, what supplementary material? Materials you can use in addition or instead of your course book, focusing on grammar, vocabulary, and particular skills. There are also very many teachers' resources books with ideas and materials for all kinds of lessons, as well as a growing number of free websites with articles, ideas, and activities for teachers on different teaching topics. Now, teaching methodologies, like you are following the TKT course. So in this course also, you might have come across a lot of different approaches to the teaching. So likewise, this is one book. There are a lot of books are there on different approaches to build up in order to see what different ways are available, approaches are available, which you can teach the same topic in a more effective way. Not necessarily what they suggest may be suitable for your classroom environment, may be suitable for your student in your culture, in your country, But if not 100% you can take that, at least you can get a good idea of it, and you can customize that idea and see how you can adjust that in your teaching style, right? So that's how this looking new approaches for the teaching, it helps you, right? Next one is finding out how to use the material in your course book. Teacher's book provide suggestion about how to use the material in the course book. Many teachers' books also include suggestion for alternatives to the procedure in these course book, as the explanation of answers or exercise and extra resources. So teacher book, which is we call it teacher guide also, it usually tell you how to use the course book material. And they also suggest if, for example, one particular topic is hard for students or easy for students, so how to deviate and teach in a different style. So they give you guidance. And in the teacher books, a lot of resources are available, supplementary materials, which you can photocopy and all that, which helps you along with the course book. That's what they are saying, such as homework, tasks, activities for further practice. Many new teachers' books provide extra material, such as supplementary worksheet and progress tests, photocopiable, and choice of easier and more challenging activities for classes with mixed levels. So, yeah. Andrew, you want to add something?
So yes, just a normal thing. So these teacher books, how does it comes? Like usually now, let's say I'm teaching in a school,
Yeah.
and we get the normal book that we used to teach the
Mhm.
kids. So is there a different book called teacher books? Or you
Yeah,
mean something else?
teacher books are available for each and every kind of course. But you know what happened in practical, institutes and schools, they don't get it. Why? Because they think it is like, that the school has to provide or the institute has to provide.
I see. So
Now,
that is the teacher's guide.
yeah, it is just called teacher guide. It is called teacher book, okay, in which you have the full guidance about how to teach that particular subject. And along with that, these topic you can supplement with different type of material. Worksheets are there, photocopiable worksheet are there, tests are there, quizzes are there, some different games are there regarding those topics. Like you can teach the same topic related to that, what type of activities and tasks are there. All these are in the teacher book. Plus the teacher book gives you a very detailed explanation about each topic, what the problem the student may face, how to teach this topic with the different levels, okay? And so all these guidances are available in that. Mostly the school who are good schools, they provide that, and it is available in the library. From there you can issue it, or most of the time the schools where they have the academic coordinators, commonly schools they don't have, but good schools they have academic coordinators, and academic coordinators are responsible for maintaining all these teachers material and making sure that the teachers are consulting these materials and using it in their teaching, right? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Getting advice about particular lessons or teaching material. Colleagues who have taught at the same level or used the same teaching materials may be able to offer useful advices. As with the suggestion in the teacher's book, a colleague's approach may not suit us but may help us to think about our own planning. It's the same thing which I told you about the new approaches about the teaching on the websites and different. So not necessarily you can teach exactly the whole approach and adopt in your teaching style, but it can give you guidance. It can give you an idea what you're supposed to do, so you can yourself figure it out, that how you have to adjust that idea or that technique or that approach in your teaching. The same is the when you are consulting from your colleagues who have the teaching the same subject and may be senior than you or may not be senior, same, but they are teaching to different other levels. So you can ask them also, not necessarily exactly you follow up what your colleague is telling you, but you can get an idea. All right. So getting advice about particular lesson or teaching material, it's also from the colleague you can do that. In the end, it comes to the teacher what's supposed to be done. Decision is with you. Information you can get around and it's available a lot. Key concept in language teaching classroom. Some grammar books and dictionaries may contain clearer explanation or example. So when checking a language item, we usually try to look at more than one reference resource, right? So what happens here, mostly in the grammar book and the dictionaries, it's very clearly, some very concise way, some very clearly explaining the whole thing. Uh, so whenever you want to search something, always try to check different resources and then finalize it. Never rely on only one resource. Okay, so always, as it is for the social life also, it is an important thing. Never rely on one thing, always cross check with the others also, and then find out what is suitable. And like you are buying something, you go to the market, so when you check the price, the thing which you like to buy, so you are not straight away buying that. You go to the next place, maybe there is a good variety in the same price available, okay, or maybe the same variety is in a different price available. So cross check you have to do 2-3 places, and after that satisfy, okay, the market is like this, then you buy that thing. The same is here about the reference resources and the books which they give you explanations, and grammar books and the dictionaries and all that. Always try to check it different other resources also and satisfy yourself about and had a clear idea about it. Not always rely on one single source. Language changes as new words appear. People stopped using some older words. Grammatical usage too changes slowly over time. One way to keep up to date is to use the most recent published grammar books and dictionaries. So as we discussed a while ago, language changes, society changes. So with the society, languages changes, and frequently now it's beyond 2000 when the digital era has started. So change is happening very frequently. Along with that change in the society, when the things, language is the main thing of communication, that changes. So those changes are, we have to go for the latest kind of resources to find it about it. What are the updated one? Rather than sticking to the old grandma edition. Some say this is my grandfather been in 60s, he was having this book and they're keeping, for keeping that reference is okay. Just as, okay, this is my grandma one, grandfather one, and this thing they were using in the 60s or in 50s. But taking a reference from them about the nowadays language, that's not appropriate because they are not updated. So you have to go for the updated version. Dictionaries on CD or DVD ROMs have many extra features such as practice activities, collocation, searches and audio recordings, and pronunciation. This also I explained you earlier. You can easily listen to the pronunciation and explanation of a word on your mobile app, right? So that's it for this unit. And after a break, we will start the next unit, okay? Just 5-10 minutes break, and then we will go on with the next one.